04072003 was the day everything started, and the day I will never forget till death. The old Victorian house stood on a hill overlooking the town, its darkened windows like vacant eyes staring out at the world. I inherited it from my great-aunt Mildred, a woman I barely knew, only remembered from hushed family whispers about her eccentricities. Everyone said she was a bit touched. I just thought she was old and liked cats. I'm a student, broke as hell, so I figured I could at least live there rent-free while I finished my degree. The place was a wreck. Dust motes danced in the shafts of sunlight that pierced through the grimy windows. The air hung heavy with the scent of mildew and something else, something indefinable, like burnt sugar mixed with decay. The first few nights were uneventful. Creaky floorboards, the wind whistling through the gaps in the window frames, the usual old house noises. Then, I started having the dreams. They were always the same. I was standing in the house, but it was different. The walls were lined with portraits, all depicting people I didn't recognize. Their eyes followed me, cold and accusatory. Then, the floorboards would start to vibrate, a low, guttural hum that resonated deep in my chest. A figure would emerge from the shadows at the end of the hall. Tall, thin, its face obscured by shadow, but I always knew it was watching me. I started waking up in a cold sweat, my heart pounding. I dismissed them as stress dreams, the byproduct of moving and being generally overwhelmed. But they kept happening, night after night, growing more vivid each time. One afternoon, while cleaning out the attic, I found a trunk tucked away in a dark corner. It was old, bound in leather, with a tarnished brass lock. I forced it open. Inside, there was a collection of old journals, letters, and photographs. The journals were written in my great-aunt Mildred's hand, her looping script filling the pages. The early entries were mundane, detailing her daily life, her cats, the weather. But as I flipped through the pages, the tone shifted. Her writing became erratic, filled with paranoia and fear. She wrote of whispers in the walls, of shadows moving in the periphery of her vision, of a presence in the house that was not her own. She described the portraits in detail, portraits that matched the ones in my dreams. She wrote of a ritual, a binding, something she had done to protect herself, to protect the house. But the later entries were frantic, desperate. The binding was failing, she wrote. It was getting stronger. It wanted something. One entry in particular chilled me to the bone. It knows my name now, she wrote. And soon, it will know yours. I slammed the journal shut, my hands trembling. I didn't want to read any more. I wanted to get out of the house, to leave it all behind. But something held me back, a morbid curiosity, a need to know. That night, the dream was different. I was standing in the house, the portraits lining the walls, their eyes burning into me. The floorboards vibrated, the low hum resonating in my bones. The figure emerged from the shadows, taller and more menacing than before. And then it spoke. Its voice was a rasp, a whisper, but it filled the entire house. I know your name, it said. I woke up screaming. I lay in bed, paralyzed with fear, listening to the silence of the house. But it wasn't silent. There was a scratching sound coming from the hallway, a soft, insistent scraping, like nails on wood. It was getting closer. I pulled the covers over my head, squeezing my eyes shut, praying for it to stop. But it didn't. The scratching grew louder, more insistent, until it was right outside my bedroom door. Then, silence. I held my breath, waiting, listening. And then, a whisper, right outside my door. Open up, it said. We have so much to discuss. I stayed there trembling for what felt like hours. Finally, as the first rays of dawn crept through the window, the scratching stopped. I waited another hour before daring to move. I crept out of bed, my heart pounding in my chest. I opened the door slowly, cautiously. The hallway was empty. But on the floor, scratched into the wood, were two words. Thank you.